Welcome to 60 Skills. Today's topic is, why do so many people have trouble with Mars meditation? Well, Mars, as one of the classical planets, often receives a bad rap, mainly because of its negative manifestations. Its positive manifestations, however, don't usually require or receive so much attention. What are some reasons for this? Well, first of all, Mars is a planet where if you have not done the effort to mitigate the less benign parts of your personality, those are definitely going to be driven to the surface. More importantly, energetically speaking, what Mars does is it is the energy of getting things accomplished. Classically, it would be the symbol of a prince or young king riding off to war on his chariot in order to secure his kingdom. So one of the issues with Mars is that it is greatly animating in both men and women. It also pushes energy into your superstructure. So if you haven't made the effort to clean your personal act up, you're going to find that you're very animated. Additionally, if you lack a concrete goal to work on, you're going to be very frustrated and get into a lot of conflict. This energy of accomplishment, or the act of getting things done, needs somewhere to go, and it will find a way to express itself. Now, that's the energetic aspect of Mars that tends to cause problems. It also greatly enhances sexual function and physical strength in men. Because of this, if you're extra animated and you're still not pursuing a goal in life or getting anything done, all of that irritation is really going to rise to the surface. Now that addresses the energetic side of Mars. Let's talk a little bit for once about the philosophical side, which is also something that I tend to avoid in these things for obvious reasons, but this time we'll make an exception. All right, the outer planets, starting with Mars all the way out to Pluto, are not for everyone. Let me be clear about this. The four inner planets, Luna, Mercury, Venus, and the Sun, all address universal human experiences. That is not true of the outer planets. So if you don't have the experience associated with an outer planet, the energy of that planet is going to attempt to impart this upon you. So what are some things that are normally associated with Mars? All right, we have the fine art of soldiering, or being in the military. You have warfare. You have, interestingly enough, engineering, not science, engineering, and, even more interestingly, animal husbandry. So if you've never been in the military and deployed, and you're not a trained engineer, and you've never worked with raising livestock, what is your basis for engaging with Mars experientially? Well, you don't have one. So the energy of that place and its associated intelligences are going to attempt to give you that experience so you can engage with it properly, without which it has nothing to reflect off of. If you have not gotten to the point in your adult life where you're comfortable with conflict and the realization that violence is simply a part of nature and not something to either be enjoyed or avoided, you're going to have a really hard time philosophically with Mars. Additionally, if you think everything starts with belief and there aren't concrete realities, well, the engineering aspect of Mars isn't going to be a whole lot of fun either. And if you believe animals are our friends, you're going to have a really hard time with the animal husbandry part of Mars. So, all of these things are to denigrate someone else's beliefs. What I'm trying to explain here is that if you don't meet a planet halfway, its intelligences are going to attempt to give you the experience required in order to engage with it properly. As has been mentioned many times before, the way most entities actually function at a non-dual level is they basically reflect off your personal internal mirrors, for lack of a better term. So if you don't have anything to reflect off of, you're not going to get anything from them. They're going to have to give you something with which to have a conversation over. So I will leave with a story that I have also often told to other people regarding information gathering and working with spirits. A friend once wanted to be a master of hydrology. I don't know why, they simply did. Okay. So they contacted the appropriate entity in Franz Barden's second book, Practical Magical Evocation, or the Practice of Magical Evocation. In this case, the spirit really didn't want to talk to them. It took about a year. He had to go through all these intermediaries. There was a lot of ritual involved. It was really quite complicated, which was a surprise for this individual because they're a very gifted medium. Finally, at the end of it, they had one vision with the entity in question. They saw this long rolling hill, lots of young people kind of walking around, lots of short buildings kind of in the distance, and then a scroll unrolled in front of them. And this is very uncommon to be able to see something so clearly that you can read it in the spirit world. Very unusual. Scroll unrolled with 3 letters on it. PhD. What the entity was trying to get across was that it wasn't interested in talking to them because they didn't know enough about hydrology to have a meaningful conversation. Needless to say, my friend did not go to graduate school to get their PhD and let the matter drop there. So understand that if you're having a rough time with the spirit world, assuming you've cleaned up your personal life and you're not dealing with a truly negative entity, and those do exist, then maybe you need to look at the fact that the entity doesn't have a whole lot to engage you with. It is food for thought. Be well, and I hope to see you again soon.